All right, so thank you everyone for joining. We're going to get started in just a second here. You have joined Problem Solved when Finit Answers. So I'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Mary Rodriguez, and I'll be introducing. I'll be getting us started today with talking about Finit Answers and how it can maximize your investment. I've been with Finit close to 6 years, managed various projects, big and small, as an Oracle and OneStream implementation manager. In addition, more specifically, I'm a manager on the Finit Answers support team. So during this presentation, I'll be taking you through the type of support we can provide under Finit Answers, what the process looks like when that happens, and how you can get started.
All right, thank you, Mary. My name is Dawn Mathews, and I'm one of the managing partners at Finit. I've been here for about 12 years now, and I've been involved with Finit Answers since its creation about 8.5 years ago. In addition to Finit Answers support, I have experience in other aspects of the project lifecycle similar to Mary, like project management and training. Before we get into the details here of today's discussion, I'd like to first explain a little bit about Finit. We pride ourselves here in being different than other consulting companies, and one of the biggest ways we're different is because of the culture we have built. We put people over profit, and we do that by compensating our consultants based on client satisfaction, not billable hours like many other consulting companies do. This tends to foster a collaborative environment that our employees enjoy to work in, and as a result, I'm happy to say that we have been named one of Fortune's best workplaces in technology this year, just a couple of months ago. Also, we bring specialized expertise to all of our clients. You'll see in a little bit how this helps us within Finit Answers specifically, but really for all of Finit, our expertise helps us create solutions that are well suited for all of our clients. We create partnerships with our clients and then we collaborate with them. So just like we collaborate internally among ourselves as consultants, we also take the same approach with our clients. All this results in client success. Since Finit's creation back in 2002, we've had 100% client success, and that's across 1,000 projects with over 350 different clients. Okay, just some housekeeping here. I want to let you all know that we encourage you to ask questions during the call today. To do that, please note that you're all muted. So I just ask, please, for you to type the question into the box that you see here on the screen. We're going to try to take a few questions at the end if time allows. We have about 30 minutes in total for the webinar today. But if we don't have time, we will reach out to you directly to address your questions. So feel free to go ahead throughout the call and go ahead and type in any questions you may have. You don't have to wait until the end, although we will take them at the end. Okay, so next, I'm going to talk a little bit about the overall value that Finit Answers brings. So our Finit Answers teams comprise of a group of full-time consultants who are based here in the US. So for example, I'm in Connecticut, Mary's in Florida. We have folks as far west as Colorado. Collectively, we have experience in all products that Finit helps implement. So this includes OneStream, it includes the Oracle EPM products. Some of us specialize in one of them, whereas others have deep knowledge in a variety of them. So what types of help do we provide? Mary's going to get into that in a little bit of detail here in a sec, but you'll see a quick summary here. So our services include things like functional and technical support, application reviews, and solution design and implementation. And like I said, Mary's going to get into these in further detail here in just a minute. So in helping with all of these things, we use what we call a pay-as-you-use model. So what that means is we don't require a retainer or have a minimum number of hours that we bill. So this is in line, as you can probably tell, with our people over profit belief that I spoke about a minute ago. All right. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Mary. She's going to get going into some of the more details here about Finit Answers.
Thank you, Dawn. Most of you listening today are responsible for managing financial system support for your organization. And there will be times, on occasion, where you'll need targeted SME assistance to resolve errors. Finit Answers provides the ideal forum for you to request assistance just on that as-needed basis. Finit Answers will offer you and your team timely support for those unanticipated issues. So a few things we can help with: connectivity, performance problems, uh, the application-specific calculation errors, which a lot of us have experienced at some point in our lives, deployment or integration errors. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of some real-life tickets that we've received. When I say tickets, I mean support requests from clients. The first one is a calculated account not working as intended. In this case, it was OneStream, but it's pretty universal and could involve an Oracle client as well. So the client expressed a concern. They had a calculated account that wasn't functioning properly or as intended. This type of a request, frequently arises in the resolution when starting to work with a Finit consultant, ended up identifying a formula pass issue that was causing the incorrect the incorrect calculation. And once it was identified and the formula pass corrected, it resolved the issue. Second case, an Oracle client for FDM-EE. If you have any experience with FDM-EE in the past, you know that invalid intersections crop up pretty frequently. In this particular case, it was cropping up in a situation where the intersections were valid. So we routed this support request to a consultant, and through some troubleshooting with the client, determined it was a security issue. They resolved it together in a minimal amount of time. So in both cases, the client provided us with the error message or identified the problem. They stated some of the conditions surrounding the problem or what the expected outcome should be. And third, they provided supporting documentation that assisted us with the resolution of the issue. And so all of that combined allowed the Finit consultant to review the issue, prepare prior to the call if a call was necessary with the client. And in both cases, each ticket was resolved with a minimal amount of time, and the client could proceed with their normal duties without too much interruption. The second area are application and needs reviews. During an Oracle or OneStream implementation, systems are created under a certain set of assumptions. Those assumptions may evolve over time, prompting a need to review and reassess the existing design, maybe before engaging in a full-fledged project. You may have new requirements, changing needs. You as the client may ask what areas can be addressed to improve the financial reporting process, the output, or the overall design. So a Finit Answers consultant would work with your team to assess and review your financial systems applications and ensuring they meet the current business requirements. Once the review is completed, Finit Answers would provide you with recommendations geared towards maximizing the end user experience and system performance. Oh, sorry, skipped one. So strategy and roadmap planning be the next area. So Finit Answers can help you and your team devise a long-term financial system strategy that caters to your evolving needs. Perhaps you look down the horizon, you can envision new functionality or products that you're not quite ready for today, but want to start the conversation to better understand the potential considerations. So a few things that would fall under this area are extending forecast capability. You might want to investigate driver-based forecasting or rolling forecast. You may have interest in an archive application. Finit did a recent webinar on archive applications, which are essentially a means to store historical data and reflect the information as it was reported with no maintenance going forward. Account reconciliations could be examined perhaps as a next phase. And of course, there are other products like Request It, workforce planning, or capital budgeting. So the fourth area under Finit Answers support, solution design and implementation. Finit Answers becomes your partner as your business and financial systems evolve. So our depth of experience that Don was referring to earlier allows us to design solutions that are specific to your needs, but are still flexible and maintainable. So this could be in the form of hands-on development by Finit, or simply SME guidance to help us lay out the steps and what you need to consider. So a few examples of items that we could address under solution design and implementation would be an impact of acquisition or divestiture. Perhaps you don't encounter too many acquisitions or very infrequently. You're faced with a change maybe in fiscal year that will impact all of your reporting applications. Perhaps you have a massive redesign of account or entity structures, which of course account and entities touch every element of the application. So you want to make sure you have a thorough picture of what you would need to think about. So I just want to say again that in these cases, Finit could help with the hands-on development, but it doesn't have to be. It could also be simply addressing your needs and being a partner as an SME to guide you through the process. So I'm going to show you a few examples of real requests that we receive from clients that fall under solution design, just to give you an idea of some real life examples. Case one, we had a client open a support request. Jane Client. Jane Client's pretty popular with us. She submitted a request saying they had new accounting standards for cash flow in OneStream. And this change was basically adopting the new standards that would impact restricted cash, short-term and long-term restricted cash, to be reflected differently in OneStream. This could have very well been something similar for Oracle as well. Previously, the change in restricted cash was reported within the investing section of the cash flow statement, but now it would become part of beginning or ending. So once this ticket was assigned to a consultant, the process began of working with the client to better understand what their needs were in terms of reporting. The resolution resulted in estimating the level of effort to review their current environment and document the changes required, and document all the system changes required to effect this change, and provide those documents to the client for their testing and confirmation. So in that documentation, we identified changes needed to metadata, rules, and reporting through cube views or dashboards, and how it would impact them. Our next case, direct connect configuration. Again, Jane Client submitted a ticket and for Direct Connect. So for those of you on the call that are not familiar with Direct Connect, it's a fast and efficient means of integrating OneStream with source systems, ERPs, while also allowing drill back capability to the source. In this case, the client wanted to investigate expanding Direct Connect in a few different areas. This includes connectors to OneStream to populate supplemental and HR-related data. Lastly, they'd like to determine if drill back functionality into Oracle is possible. And when I say Oracle, I meant the GL. The resolution on this ticket, Finit worked with the OneStream administrator at the client site with Jane Client to set up all the new connectors in the development environment for testing. And once tested and confirmed, we documented the updates for migration to production. The third example I have is an Oracle example. It's for a Hyperion server name change. So the client created the ticket. And this is a case where instead of troubleshooting a technical problem, this is a client who wished to make a host name change in their Oracle server environment, but before proceeding, wanted to ensure they were considering all aspects of the change beforehand. So the resolution in this case was our Finit infrastructure consultant listed the steps and considerations for making the change, including a time estimate for providing assistance to the client and walking them through if that was desired. So the last area of Finit Answers support falls under knowledge sharing and research. Finit Answers offers expertise and resources as a complement to your team for complex application challenges. Many times our clients will discuss internally a potential change they're considering and then reach out to Finit Answers to benchmark what other clients do in this case or what might be the options for them specifically. So our team utilizes lessons learned across Finit's vast client base to share how others overcame challenges similar to the ones you're currently facing. We emphasize collaboration within Finit. As Dawn mentioned earlier, we're a highly collaborative group, and in doing so, any unique, custom, or standard solutions we develop has a potential to benefit all of our clients. So we talked about the 5 areas where Finit Answers support can help you. Now here's a little bit about how the process works. So step 1. I mentioned a portal earlier, a website where we accept clients' requests. The first step in this process would be a client creates a support ticket on our portal. Next step would be the Finit Answers consultant begins their analysis and review. So they examine the information that was provided by the client in the ticket, look through perhaps any rules files or Excel documentation or screenshots that were provided of the error, and starts to formulate an idea of what's going on. Step 3 is the client receiving a first reply from the Finit Answers consultant. Now the replies originate within our Finit Answers portal. This could be in the form of asking additional questions to scope out the problem, additional questions just to further our understanding, or we may decide to extend an invitation for a Skype or GoToMeeting call in order to discuss it with a client in more detail and perhaps observe the issue real time. The next step is the collaboration process. This is the process where Finit Answers will share the knowledge of the product or process with the client, and the client will also alternatively share information about their environment, their users, their process, their design, etc. And that process is going to be iterative at times and further our understanding so we can get to the ultimate goal of resolution. So for problem areas or problem issues, the resolution is identified, tested, and implemented by the client. If this were something like perhaps knowledge sharing or application needs and review, the resolution would be in the form of documentation and recommendations. As I mentioned earlier, we have a portal. It's very simple to use. This slide will give you an idea of the simplicity of the portal. To initiate a ticket, our clients would access the website, click the blue button on the right for Start Ticket. That brings you to a predefined form that could be completed just within minutes. There's an opportunity to attach files, screenshots, Excel files, logs, etc., and to put a brief description of the issue you're encountering. So once that support request is submitted, it will route an immediate email to the Finit Answers support team, who can then act on assigning the ticket to a dedicated consultant who will be assisting you. So you're asking the question, well, I see how the process works. I understand what types of requests we generally receive through Finit Answers. If I were interested, how would I sign up and get started? So the first step in the process would be to finalize a Finit Answers statement of work. This would have things like response times. What are guaranteed response times? What would be the rate associated with Finit Answers consultant support? And what would be generally an overview of the tasks covered by this program? Second, knowledge transfer. So the Finit Answers team would schedule a knowledge transfer once a statement of work is finalized between the financial systems team at the client and the Finit Answers management team. We do this to understand your overall design, what products are in use, and familiarize us with any challenges you've been experiencing and anticipate needing help with. This expedites resolution time when an issue or request arises. The last step may even go hand in hand with step 2. This is our Finit Answers portal training. We would schedule just a brief training with the portal to ensure you're familiar with how to use it, the important information that's critical for us to know. And I would like to stress that this is generally very, very brief. We could also provide user guides and information available to you should you also need a refresher going forward.
All right, thanks, Mary. Just looking through here, we did get in 2 questions. I think they're going to be pretty quick. So if it's okay with you, Mary, I think we might as well go ahead and try to answer these now, and then we
Sure.
can kind of wrap it up maybe after that. Okay, question number 1. I'm not a Finit client, so can I still use Finit Answers?
So the answer to that question is a resounding yes. If you're not a Finit client today, this could be your first entree as a Finit Answers client. We may need to work out some documentation in advance of the statement of work, but yes, absolutely, certainly, we'd welcome that.
Cool, thank you. Next one, last question. What hours are Finit consultants available?
So our support hours for Finit consultants are 7 a.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. So those are technically our working hours where we could respond to requests, receive requests, respond to requests, etc.
And that's
So
Monday
yes,
through Friday.
thank you. Monday through Friday, absolutely.
All right, good, thanks. That's it that we have for questions now. Maybe, unless anyone has anything else, then we can go ahead and to the wrap-up slide. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, if anybody else has any questions after we're done today, feel free to reach out to me or Mary. You see our contact information there. We'll be happy to address your questions. If you would like a copy of the presentation or if you'd like a link to the recording, just email this email address that you see here, insights@finit.com. Did want to mention too, we have an upcoming webinar coming up. This is a super special one. We've got one of our consultants, Max Roberts, going to be teaming up with OneStream and the Carlisle group to discuss account reconciliations, the solution that they have there for account reconciliations. This was a presentation that we had originally planned on doing in Splash, which is the OneStream user conference, but due to its cancellation, we're taking it virtual. And so please, if you're interested, please sign up for that. You can see how to do that. If you go to Finit's LinkedIn page, you'll see how to register for that. It's going to be on Tuesday, April 28th, like you see here at 11 Eastern. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you taking us through that. And thanks everyone for your time today. Again, if you have any further questions, please feel free to go ahead and reach out to us.
Yep.
Thanks again. Have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of your day.